Hanukkah Sameach. Tonight's class, Be'ezrat Hashem, is donated by Mr. Ariel and Dana Joudai for Refuah Shelemah, Dan Hayim ben Yehudit and Yehiel ben Hamama. Be'ezrat Hashem, may the shi'ur and the hizuk should be Refuah Shelemah, Refuatam HaMehera. Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all hear Besorot Tovot. Amen. This week's Parashat Vayeshev. One of the greatest speakers, Rabbi, once said that I'm going from Shabbat to Shul and another Shul, and I give speeches about the Parashat Shavua. So he says, as Parashat Bereshit kicks in, I go around and I speak about, we have two people in Parashat Bereshit. We have Cain and we have Hevel. So I speak about, look what happens in Parashat Bereshit. The good person is obviously Hevel and the bad is Cain. How careful we have to be to learn not to be like Cain, to be like Hevel. Parashat Noah kicks in and the same thing comes up. We have Noah and we have Dora Mabul, the generation of the flood, people who did sin. We have to learn, we have the good and we have the bad. Later on we have also the generation of Dora Palaga, the generation who built the tower against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have them, verse Shem ve'ever. And later on we have also Avraham is the good, verse Nimrod HaRasha. You continue Parashat Lech Lecha, you see the bad is Lot, and the good is Abraham. Later on, we see Hagar, verse Sarai Menu. You continue Parashat Vayera. You see Parashat Vayera. We have the good people, the good person. We see Eliezer, and the bad is Lavan, Betuel. Later on, Parashat Toledot. We see, Parashat Hayesara. Yeah, we just Parashat Toledot. Toledot we have Yaakov Avinu, verse Esav. You continue Parashat Vayetze, Yaakov, verse Lavan. You continue Parashat Vayishlach. We have Yaakov Avinu. He's fighting against the angel Sarosh al Esav, and then you continue and you see Shechem ben Hamor, verse Yaakov Avinu's children. And here comes Parashat Vayeshev. How can I say who is bad and who is good? We're talking about the holy Shevatim, the 12 tribes, the pillar of the world. How can I speak anything? Who can say good or bad? So you always used to say, when it comes Parashat Vayeshev, it's so hard for me to speak about, oh, he's good, who's bad, Has v'shalom. How can we say that? L'chen Rabotai tzich lada'at, speaking about this Parashat Vayeshev, we're talking about one of the hardest parashiyot that we're paying. The history is still today. The history of Mechirat Yosef, selling Yosef, it's something that it's so hard to understand. But in any event, we're going to start Parashat Vayeshev. The Torah tells us Vayeshev Yaakov be'eretz megurei aviv be'eretz Kenan. So Yaakov Avinu came after 22 years being outside, being by his father-in-law Lavan, coming back. It took him 2 years to get back to Eretz Israel, and finally, 22 years after, Yaakov Avinu is back. אומרת התורה, אלה תולדות יעקב יוסף בן 17 שנה. היה רועה את אחיו בצאן והוא נער את בני בלהה ואת בני זלפה נשי אביו. ויבא יוסף את דיבתם רעה אל אביהם. It says, here is the children of Yaakov. Who is the children of Yaakov? Who is the descendants of Yaakov? Yosef. Yosef was 17 years old when he was with his brothers. He was a shepherd. And Yosef saw something, how his brothers act, and he went to his father Yaakov, ויבא יוסף את דיבתם רעה אל אביהם. All the years, the way we learn this parasha, dibatam, it means he spoke lashon hara on his brothers. But tonight we're going to learn something else. I saw a beautiful pshat. What is meant by Vayeshev et dibatam ra'ai l'Avihem? He wrote the names and he gave it to his father. Daddy, pray for these children. They need rahamim, they need pity. Vayeshev et dibatam ra'ah, meaning has v'shalom, he spoke lashon hara. Rather, he wrote the names and he gave the paper to his father. Daddy, we have to pray for them. We have to pray for our brothers. Pasuk Gimel. בישראל אהב את יוסף מכל בניו כי בין זקונים הוא לו ועשה לו כתונת פסים. The Torah says, Israel, Yaakov Avinu, he loved Yosef more than all his children. Why? כי בין זקונים הוא לו. The reason Yaakov Avinu loved Yosef, Hazal tell us. One pshat. As the Targum explains, Are bar Hakim. Maze ben zekunim. It's not the youngest kid. Ki ben zekunim, it should be Binyamin, not Yosef. Then why it says he loved Yosef more? The answer is, the Targum explains, Ben Zekunim Bar Hakim. The kid was so smart. Yosef was very smart. And Hazal tell us, Rashi explains, what does it mean Ben Hakim? Omer Rashi, Kol ma shelamad mitoratam shel Shem ve'ever masar lo. The Torah that he learned from Shem ve'ever, he gave over his son Yosef. Meaning, the Torah that Yaakov Avinu learned from his father Yitzhak, and the Torah that he learned from his grandfather Abraham, he gave it to all the children. But there is certain Torah that Yaakov Avinu did not give anybody beside Yosef. What was special about that Torah that he gave to his son Yosef more than all the brothers? Omer Rashi, he gave Yosef the Torah that he learned from Shem ve'ever. What's so special about that Torah that he gave Yosef specifically? And the answer is, we know that before Yaakov Avinu left to Lavan, Yaakov was at the age of 63 years old when his father gave him the barachot. He was 63 years old when Yitzhak gave him the barachot. And then his mother tells him, Rivka tells Yaakov, I want you to go to my brother Lavan because I heard your brother Esav wants to kill you. Amar Esav yikrevu yemei evel aviv v'harga et achi Yaakov. Yikrevu yemei evel aviv v'harga et achi Yaakov. I want to kill my brother Yaakov. So his mother told him, Yaakov, I want you to run away. Go to my brother. And we know he didn't. Yaakov went to Yeshivat Shem Va'ever. He hid there for 14 years. After 14 years, then he went to Lavan. So he came to his uncle Lavan at the age of 77 years old. Why did Yaakov did not listen to his mother? His mother told him, I want you to go to my brother. Why did he wait for 14 years? And the reason is, and the answer is, Yaakov Avinu knew, for me to go to live by Lavan among such a Rasha, I have to prepare myself. There is no way in the world. If I'm going to go now to live among my uncle, then I'm not going to get influence. I'm going to get influence. I'm going to become a bad person. Who knows how I'm going to change? So for that, he had to go and learn from Shem and learn from Mr. Evel. Who is Shem? Shem was the son of Noah. Shem lived at the generation of the Dor HaMabul. He learned from his father how to fight people that have ta'avot, adultery, stealing. Shem lived at the time of Dor HaMabul, and Shem became tzaddik. So Yaakov Avinu had to go to Shem to learn from Shem how to live among Rashaim and not to get influence. But the Torah that you get from Shem, that's Torah Ta'avot. How can you fight Ta'avot when all the people around you God forbid, they're doing all the worst averot in the world. Then you have another person, Korim lo Ever. Who is Ever? Ever was the great-grandson of Mr. Shem. Ever lived at the generation of Dor HaPalaga, the generation that built the tower against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Their nisayon was kfirah, rebel against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he went to Ever to learn how to become strong with emunah and not to fall down. So Yaakov Avinu for 14 years, before he left his parents, he went to Shem Ever to learn two types of Torot. Torah Shem and Torah Ever. Torah of desires of Ta'avot and Torah of emunah, verse Kfirah. In any event, that Torah he gave to his son Yosef HaTzadik. That Torah, the 14 years that he learned from Shem Ever, that type of the Torah he gave to his son Yosef. And my dear friends, I want to give you tremendous hidush that I saw. Meaning, for Yaakov Avinu to give over Torah of 14 years, which means it's going to take Yaakov to teach Yosef also 14 years. So let's do simple math. How old was Yosef when he left his father? He was 17 years old. So to give over Torah of 14 years, which means when Yosef was at the age of 3 years old, that's when Yaakov Avinu started to give Yosef Torah Shem Ve'ever. From when Yosef was 3 years old until Yosef was 17, that's the 14 years that Yaakov Avinu gave his son Yosef the Torah. And why specifically to Yosef? Why not to Yehuda? How come it didn't give over to Yisachar or Levi? And the answer is, Yaakov knew that Yosef HaTzadik is going to end up somewhere that none of his brothers are going to be. That's Mitzrayim. That's Egypt. Yaakov Avinu knew that Yosef is going to have a challenge, and we know what happened to Yosef. Yosef was tested with this two tremendous nisyonot, tremendous tests. One is to live among a mirsha'at, to live among a goya, that every day she tried to persuade him to do a sin. Yosef, yom yom velo shama elea. Every day, 3 times a day, she would drive him nuts to do a sin, and Yosef did not fall into it. That nisayon, zah nisayon shel ta'avot. And after Yosef was the winner, he won. They took him, they dropped him in a pit in jail for 12 years. That's nisayon of emunah, that's nisayon of faith. And Yosef HaTzadik, he won. And Yosef HaTzadik, after all the years, Yosef lo nishbar. He stood up strong. He did not fall down. And that's why Yaakov Avinu v'Yisrael ahav Yosef mikol banav. What was so special about Yosef? He knew that this Torah that I learned, the only son that I could give the Torah, and he's going to take it, and he's going to build himself, is going to be Yosef. Lachen v'Yisrael ahav Yosef mikol banav. That's one pshat. However, the Zohar HaKadosh says something else. The Zohar HaKadosh omer, listen to the words. Kasher haya Yosef omed lefanav. When Yosef was standing in front of his father Yaakov, haya mistakel bo. Yaakov would look at his son Yosef. V'haya nishlam benafsho ki'ilu ro'eh et Rachel. Yosef was a beautiful son, and he had the image of his mother Rachel. And Yaakov, we know that's why, with the last week's Parashat Vayeshev, we know that Yaakov, he lost his wife. He had to bury Rachel Imenu. We know how much Yaakov loved Rachel. Akeret Habayit, Moshivi Akeret Habayit, who was the Ikar, who was the main of Yaakov Avinu's house, was his wife Rachel Imenu. And Yosef looked like his mother. So V'Yisrael אהב את יוסף מכל בניו. Why? Because when he looked at Yosef, he saw his mother. And his words, והיה דומה עצמו כמי שלא עבר עליו צער מעולם. When Yaakov looked at Yosef, he saw his mother Rachel, כאילו his pain was gone, was not there anymore. Yosef had the beauty of his mother. Yaakov looked at Yosef, he saw his mother. It gave him a peace. It gave him a Hamama, comfort that I have my wife next to me. I see Yosef. לכן כתוב וישראל אהב את יוסף מכל בניו. However, חברים יקרים, tonight I want to learn a tremendous hidush. Two hidushim, beautiful hidushim that it's brought down in the Sefer Penei David, the Hidah. The Hidah takes us to Parashat Vayeshev. Let's open Parashat Vayeshev, my friends. בוא נפתח לפרשת ויצא. You want to take this? You can take this. Thank you. פרשת ויצא, פרק למד. פרק למד, פסוק כ"א. תשמעו דבר גדול. Listen, something big. It says that Leah had 6 children. And after she had 6 children, Shisha Shevatim, 6 tribes, it says she got pregnant again. Now, let me just tell you something. The Imahot HaKdoshot, Rachel, Leah, Bilha, Zilpah, they knew that Yaakov Avinu is going to have only 12 children. They knew. They knew that Yaakov Avinu was going to have only 12 children. By now, Leah has 6. Bilha and Zilpah, each one have 2. So already 10 kids Yaakov has. Now Yaakov is going to have another 2 kids and it's gone. And now what happens? It says, Pasuk Chaf Aleph, Ve'ahar yalda bat. It's amazing. It doesn't say, Vatahar vatelet bat. It doesn't say, Vatahar, she got pregnant and she gave birth a baby daughter. Look at it. It says, Ve'ahar, and afterwards, yalda bat. Something is missing over here. Where's the pregnancy over here? It doesn't mention. Hazal tell us, the minute Leah Imenu, she got pregnant at the 7th time, she said to herself, how could I let it happen? I'm going to have 7 children, Bilha has 2, Zilpah has 2. If my sister Rachel is lucky, she's going to have only 1, meaning she's going to be below the maidservants, the shefahot. How could I let it happen? It's just not fair. Hazal tell us, Ve'ahar, Maze ahar, after she did din ba'atzma, if you look at Rashi, Omer Rashi, Shedana Leah din ba'atzma, that she made hishbon, calculation. Im ze zachar, if this baby that I'm carrying is a boy, lo teher Rachel achoti ke'echad hashfachot, my sister Rachel cannot be less than Bilha and Zilpah. V'hitpalela alav, she prayed to Hashem. What exactly she prayed? She prayed to Ribono Shel Olam, let this baby become a baby girl. Now I want to tell you something. The halakha is, if a wife is pregnant, you have 40 days to pray to change to a boy or a girl. That's it. 40 days. As they know the baby gets a shape, you can pray, I want a baby boy, I want a baby girl. After 40 days, that's it. It's over. If you pray, it's called tfilat shav. Mazat tfilat shav, tfilah lechinam. It goes. It goes for waste. The baby's not going to change. But there is one miracle in the history. A woman, a mother, who was pregnant with a baby boy, and she prayed to Hashem, Ribono Shel Olam, please, I want a baby girl. Now, what does that mean? I want a baby girl. What does it mean? It mean that the boy changed to become a girl? Is that the pshat? Is the pshat is that the baby that she had, which was a baby boy, that she prayed, it means that it changed in her stomach to become a baby girl? Rabbi Yisrael, listen to the Targum Yonatan ben Oziel. What a tremendous hidush. And I'm reading from the Targum Yonatan, listen to his words. And he says, V'ithalfu uberaya bim'ehon. The babies at that time, if you read, in Pasuk Chaf Aleph, who's pregnant? Leah. In Pasuk Chaf Bet, who's pregnant? Rachel. Vayizkor Elohim et Rachel. Vayishma Elohim eftach et Rahma. So Pasuk Chaf Aleph, Leah is pregnant. Pasuk Chaf Bet, Rachel is pregnant. Rachel was pregnant with a baby girl. Alright? And Leah was pregnant with a baby boy. Ve'ahar Leah prayed, Ribono Shel Olam, how can I carry a baby boy? Please, let my sister have the baby boy and I'll have the baby girl. Omer Targum Yonatan, that's his words. V'ithalfu uberaya bim'ehon. Hashem took the baby from Leah's stomach to Rachel, and from Rachel to Leah. V'hava Yahiv Yosef bim'ahad Rachel. Hashem took Yosef from Leah's stomach womb and he put it in Rachel's womb. V'dina bim'ahad Leah. Dinah, Hashem took Dinah from Rachel and he put it by Leah's stomach. By the way, now we know something interesting that the Mefarshim explain. The Mefarshim explain that in last week's parasha we know that it says, in last week's parasha it says, בפרשת וישלח, אם אתם מסתכלים בפרשת וישלח, תראו מה כתוב בפרק ל"ד פסוק א'. It says, ותצא דינה. What does it mean ותצא, what does it mean ותצא דינה? Hazal tell us, Dinah, what are you doing outside? What are you doing outside? You should have stayed home. Do you know what's the answer? Dinah, ayala midat habanim. She had something like to do with boys. Boys to go out. Girls, tzadikot, stay home. Dinah, what are you doing outside? You know why she was doing? Do you know why she left? Ki hayta hashoresh shela. Her background, but the truth was she was a boy. Ayala mashu min midat habanim, to leave the house. That's why it says vatetze Leah. Why? Because originally she was a boy, and Hashem switched. Hashem yachlim et hayladim babeten. Yotzar lefize, according to this. So hold on. So Yotzar kacha. Yosef, in the beginning, he was by Leah, and Dinah in the beginning was by Rachel. After Leah prayed, Hashem switched the babies, and now comes out that Yosef, he has from Leah and he has from Rachel. No other child from the Shevatim had it. Only Yosef. Omer Achidam, V'Yisrael ahav et Yosef mikol banav. Why? Because what Yosef had, Yosef was born from Rachel and Leah. You hear that? Yosef was born from Rachel and Leah. And that's why Yaakov Avinu loved them the most. Because he carried two special characters. The power of Rachel Imenu and the power of Leah. No other child got this power. Amar Yaakov Yisrael, Ahav et Yosef mikol banav. Yosef was something very, very special. Very special. So far we know Yosef was very smart. Ben Achi Hacham. Also we know he had the image of his mother Rachel. Yes, his mother Rachel. And that's why when Yaakov saw him, he saw his mother. Now we're learning a powerful pshat. Yosef was born from Rachel and Leah. He is carrying a special legacy. He has something from both mothers, Rachel and Leah. No other child got this koach beside Yosef HaTzadik. Al kol panim, I want to give you another beautiful pshat. That Hida quote from B'Shem Rabbeinu Ha'arizal, that Yosef HaTzadik, that's his words, Nit'abra bo nishmat Yitzhak. Listen to this. Listen to this. In Yosef, he got something from his grandfather's neshama. LeYosef hayalo from the neshama of his grandfather Yitzhak. Number one, if you do gematria, the number Yitzhak is 208. Don't believe me? Try it out. Yitzhak, Yud is 10, Tzadik is 90, Het is 8, Kuf is 100, which makes it to 100, 208. If you take the word kiben zekunim ima kolel is 208. Don't believe me? Do the numbers. Zayin is 7, Kuf is 100, Nun is 50, Yud is 10, and Mem is 40. Ima kolel, it's number 1, it's 208. Omeru, ki ben zekunim. Ma ze ki ben zekunim? It's Yosef HaTzadik, he had from his father's neshama, from his grandfather's neshama, nit'abra bo, the soul of his grandfather Yitzhak. Now, Rabbi Isai, I want to get to a topic which is so deep, but it's a beautiful how everything is connected. So now, V'Yisrael havet Yosef b'kol banav. Why? Ki ben, hu ben sheli, and also zekunim. Ma ze zekunim, we said now? His father. So Yosef had two special things, two traits. He had the fact that Yosef was Yaakov's son, and that's why it says ki ben, and also zekunim, which zekunim is the number of Yitzhak. So why Yaakov loved Yosef so much? כי הוא היה הבן שלו וגם אבא שלו. יפה מאוד. But we're not done. I want to skip when the brothers came to Yaakov and they showed him the kutonet. They showed him the Yosef's garment. מה כתוב? חברים, פרק ל"ז, פסוק ל"ג. ויקירה ויאמר כותונת בני חיה רעה אכלתו טרוף טורף יוסף. ויקרא יעקב סמלותיו וישם שק במותניו ויתאבל על בנו ימים רבים. יעקב אבינו, he ripped his clothes and he put a sack and he was avel for many, many days, which we all know it was 22 years. And then it says, ויקומו כל בניו וכל בנותיו לנחמו, וימאן להתנחם, ויאמר כי ארד אל בני אבל שאולה. His children, his daughters came to him, לנחם אותו. But Yaakov did not accept any nehama, any comfort. And why? He says, Ki ered el beni avel sheola, I'm going to see penei gehinam. Vayefk oto aviv. What does it mean, Vayefk oto aviv? The simple pshat of Vayefk oto aviv, the way we read the pasuk, it means that Yaakov Avinu cried for 22 years. הוא בכה עליו, all the years הוא בכה עליו. אבל הספורנו אומר לא ככה. The Sforno explains, no. Vayefk oto aviv, it means Yitzhak. Yitzhak cried. The way we read, Mize aviv, Yaakov bacha al Yosef. Yaakov cried on Yosef. But the Sforno says, no. Aviv, it's Yitzhak. Meaning, Yitzhak, when he went to see his son Yaakov, he would aya boche. Why? Because he knew that Yosef is still alive. But Hashem, Yitzhak had no permission to reveal, to tell the secret to his son Yaakov. So every time he went to, he would come to his son's house, aya Yitzhak boche al Yaakov. Aya boche alav. Aval Rabbi Yisai, according to Pnei David, according to Hida, he says something, an amazing pshat. What does it mean by Vayefk oto? Yitzhak bacha al atzmo. Yitzhak, he cried on Yosef. Who is Yosef? Zekunim. Who is Yosef? Yosef has the neshama of myself. Part of me is in Yosef, is in my grandson Yosef. And now when Yosef was sold, and Yosef is in Mitzrayim, and Yosef was being sold as a slave, it is in pain, v'betzar gadol, vayefk oto aviv, it means, Yitzhak Avinu haya boche al mi, on Yosef, ki hu atzmo, that's me. He has משהו מהנשמה שלי. לכן אומר, that's why it says, vayefk oto aviv, Yitzhak bacha al Yosef. And why? Ki Yosef carried Hayalo from Yitzhak's neshama. And that's why Yitzhak Avinu bacha al Yosef HaTzadik. But we're not done. Why we're not done? כתוב, Yosef, we find Yosef in the bowl. My friends, just watch how everything in the Torah, how everything is connected. It's just amazing how it's a whole chain from the beginning till the end. You could watch one place in 22 years after, you'll find something very similar, but you have to know how to connect. Our Hachamim, our rabbis, with their holy eyes, they know how to connect the whole Torah. You open our parasha, and we find Yosef in the bor. His brothers, they threw him to the bor, to the pit. But we find Yosef another time in the bor. You know where? At the end of the parasha, they threw him to the jail. When Esther Potiphar, she claimed that Yosef came to rape her, this Milshat, which was she lied. He ended up being in the jail. It says there also bor. We find Yosef in two places that he was thrown to the pit. In the beginning of the parasha, which when his brothers throw him to when they throw him to the bor, that's one time. The second time we find Yosef again in a bor, in a pit, it was at the end of the parasha. And why is it? And amazing. Because in the beginning, why was he thrown to the bor? Because of his dreams. He has the dreams. He comes to his brothers. He tells them the dreams. Because of that dreams, what happened to him? Boom! He got thrown to the pit. Later on, why was Yosef taken out from the pit? Because of a dream also. We find the dreams of Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, the dreams of the butler and the baker, and 2 years after he was out because of Paro's dream. It's amazing. we find two borot, two pits, we find both stories, dreams, and you ask yourself, what's the connection? Why? Why do we see a bor? חברים יקרים, כמה זה בגימטריה בור? Bet is 2, Vav is 6, Resh is 200. How much is it? 208. מי זה הגימטריה? יצחק. כמה זה יצחק? 208. אומר יוסף, כי שמו אותי בבור. Do you know why I was putting in the bowl? לתקן. I gotta fix something that has to do עם יצחק. What was the tikkun? The tikkun was Yaakov Avinu did not respect his father. For 22 years when Yaakov Avinu was away, הוא לא כיבד את אבא ואת אמא שלו. יעקב אבינו היה חסר לו מצוות כיבוד אב ואם, even though he went there because of his parents. His parents told him, you know, go to Lavan. But Yaakov, who told you to tell Lavan, אבותך 7 שנים? Why did you say 7 years? And why did you another 7 years? And why did you work for another 6 years? Who told you for 20 years to stay by your father-in-law? Why? Tell him 7 days, 7 months, and come back. For 22 years, יצחק אבינו, את יעקב, לא כיבד את אבא שלו מצוות כיבוד אב ואם. For יעקב אבינו, זה חיסרון, it's a lack of מצוות עשה. כנגד זה, יעקב אבינו, מה היה לו? He missed his son for 22 years, and his son did not מכבד him, did not came and give him כבוד for 22 years. מידה כנגד מידה. אוי רבוי סי, now we know what happened. It says, אומרת התורה, ויבך אותו אביו. What does it mean ויבך אותו אביו? Back to the beginning. When יצחק אבינו, so יעקב אבינו in pain, הוא בכה. Why? Because of me, you are suffering. ויבך אותו אביו, יצחק אבינו בכה. Why are you suffering? Because you did not מכבד me, because you're lacking, you have a lack of מצוות עשה of כיבוד אב ואם. ליצחק כאב לו. אומר החידה, ויבך is אותיות וי על כף בית. ויבך. Look in the pasuk, ויבך, וו ויוד זה וי. כף ובית, that's 22. וי. Whoa. On 22 years, שלא כיבדת את אבא ואת אמא. How everything is connected. How everything is connected. You know, my friends, you know, when I learned this parasha over every year, you're going to find something else, a different pshatim, a different perushim. You could learn it 100 years. Every year something else. But do you know what's the beauty? That the depth of the Torah and the beauty of the Torah, how everything is connected and how everything has hishbon to the day. For us, you have a father, run, respect him. You have a mother, go ahead and respect them. Not because has v'shalom, a punishment. But look, Yitzhak Avinu is alive. And there is no doubt, Yitzhak Mahal Yaakov. It's not even a question, Bichlal. But at the end of the day, you're lacking mitzvat kibud av va'em. How lucky we are. If you have your parents next to you, go there. Go respect your parents. If you don't have parents, teach your kids what is parents. Teach your kids what is mitzvat kibud av va'em. How fortunate is a person that he has his parents still alive. Grab the opportunity, give them a call in the morning, before you go to sleep, before Shabbat. Do something, kibud av va'em. Because יעקב אבינו לא כיבד את אבא שלו, תראו כמה, איזה צער היה לו. על כל פנים, we also learn who is Yosef, who is this great man, Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef HaTzadik, all the tsa'ar, and he's stood up strong with his emunah and his faith. Let's continue. חברים יקרים, אומרת התורה בפרשת השבוע, אנחנו ממשיכים הלאה. Back to the beginning. ויראו אחיו כאותו אהב אביהם מכל אחיו וישנאו אותו ולא יכלו דברו לשלום. They couldn't say hello to him. יחלום יוסף חלום, in another dream, he went to his brothers again, and again. Yosef has a couple of dreams and he goes to his brothers. I have to skip because I want to get to the next topic here. Yaakov Avinu, he's sending his son, please, פסוק י"ג, ויאמר ישראל אל יוסף, הלא אחיך רועים בשכם, לך ואשלחך עליהם. Yaakov, he sends Yosef and he tells him, Yosef, I want to send you to Shechem. לך נא ראה את שלום אחיך והשיבני דבר. Yaakov tells Yosef, he gives him two missions, not one, two. One, he tells him, I'm sending you to check on your brothers, that's one. Second, v'hashiveni davar, and I want you to come back and tell me, give me the report. And why Yaakov Avinu, he did that? Hazal tell us, sheluchei mitzvah enam nizokim. When a person, he goes to do mitzvah, nothing is going to happen to him. Now Yaakov Avinu knows that he's sending his son Yosef, it's dangerous. So what he tells him, I'm making you shaliach mitzvah. Okay, so going there, you're saved. Why? Because you're doing mitzvah kibud avayim, nothing is going to happen to you. But remember one thing, if Yaakov Avinu only going to tell him, just go check on your brothers, okay? The minute he fulfilled that mitzvah, that's it. He has no more mitzvot, meaning the mitzvah is over. He has no protection from this second and on. So Ma'asa Yaakov, he tells him, V'hashiveni davar, your shaliach mitzvah, both ways, going and coming back, meaning you'll be protected, right? Protected from the beginning till the end, when you go and when you come back. About time, I want to share a beautiful pshat, which when I saw this, it just blew my mind. It blew my mind. Yaakov Avinu, he sent his son Yosef, and he made him a shaliach, a messenger, shaliach mitzvah, both ways. What happened after? Omeret Hatorah later on, פסוק ל"ב, וישלחו את כותונת הפסים ויביאו אל אביהם. The Shevatim, they brought Yosef's garment. ויאמרו זאת מצאנו הקרנה כותונת בנך hayim. Lord, they tell him, Dad, look at the garment, is that your son or not? ויקירה. And Yaakov Avinu, he ripped his clothes. ויתאבל על בנו ימים רבים. ויקומו כל בניו וכל בנותיו לנחמו וימאן להתנחם. Yaakov Avinu, he refused to get comfort, to get nahama. Rabbi Yisai, I'm asking you a question. How in the world Yaakov Avinu, he refused to accept nahama? How? We know people in the Holocaust, they lost the entire family, parents, kids, wife. And they stood up and they became normal and they built a new family. We know people in our community, who lost a wife and kids in fire. In fire. We know in our family, in our community, people who lost 7 kids in fire. They didn't stop. The day did not stop. It was painful. But they kept going on. There is so much pain in the world. that people go through. But at the end of the day, after a year or 2 or 3, you keep going. It doesn't make sense to me that Yaakov Avinu vayima'en litnahem. Why? Especially it says vayakumu kol banav v'chol benotav. So mashallah, you see 12. You see 12 children. You see 13 daughters. You see 11 boys. And you see 12 girls. Each tribe had a girl, twin daughter, twin sister. So mashallah, you see kids and grandchildren. So you lost one. Vayima'en litnahem for 22 years. It just doesn't make sense. Yaakov Avinu went through so much in his life. Between his brother Esav, between his father-in-law Lavan, between burying his own wife that he loved, Rachel, the story of his daughter Dinah, she was raped. So much sorrow he's going through, and everything was, Yaakov stood up like a medal. What happened here? It says, Vayima'en litnahem. I saw a pshat. When I saw it, it just, wow. The way we read the pasuk Vayima'en litnahem, the way we read it, he was so much in pain that he lost his son Yosef. That's how we read it. But today we're going to learn something else. Totally something else. Something else. Ashu hadash legamri. Something else. Let me see. I saw this in a Sefer Ne'eh Doresh. He quoted from one of the Darshanim, and he brings a beautiful pshat. There is a question, mahloket in the Rishonim. We all know that we have a mitzvah to respect a father. But what if? What if a father is Rasha? A father is a Rasha. He does averot. He doesn't keep Shabbat. Baal averot, a terrible person. Doesn't follow Torah and mitzvot. Do I have to respect my father in such a case? Yes or no? It's a question. Mahloket. However, if you open Shulchan Aruch 2, in Siman Resh Mem, look inside. Yored De'ah Siman Resh Mem Seif Yud Het, the Tur brings down. ונראה לי, כיוון שהוא רשע אין חייב בכבודו. According to the Tur, בעל הטורים, he פוסק הלכה למעשה, if a father is a rasha, you have no mitzvah of kibud avaim. Now watch this. If a father is a rasha, you have no mitzvah to respect your father. Rabbi Isai, Yaakov Avinu sent his son Yosef as a shaliach mitzvah. Which mitzvah? Kibud av va'em. Meaning, if I know that if you shaliach mitzvah, nothing is going to happen to you, and Yaakov Avinu, he made sure that Yosef should be shaliach mitzvah both ways, going and coming back. He tells him, Lech na're'eh shalom atzon, go check on the tzon and go check on your brothers. V'hashiveni davar, and he come back and he give me the report. So Yosef was shaliach mitzvah. Which mitzvah? Kibud avaim. If Yosef is not coming back, if Yosef died, which means he had no mitzvah of kibud avaim, meaning ani rasha, meaning I have a sin. Vayima'en litnahem, Yaakov cried all his life. I have a sin that makes me rasha, and that's why my son did not fulfill a mitzvah of shaliach mitzvah. So it's my fault. Ani lo tzaddik. Yaakov knew what is safek avera in the hand. Maybe I did a sin that make me from Yaakov Avinu Has v'shalom liYaakov HaRasha. And that's why Yaakov bacha. Not because what happened to his son. That's Mishamayim. I'll accept everything. But me, I have a sin. אני לא צדיק. אני לא צדיק, what's going to happen to me? And for that, Yaakov knew what is the sin. We don't understand anything. We, Baruch Hashem, we feel אנחנו tzadikim, we have olam haba, we're going to end the Yaakov knew. If you have averah, if you have a sin, he knew exactly what does it mean. How does it affect up there in heaven? He knew. And for that, you know until when? When he found out that Yosef is still alive, oh, if my son is still alive, then it means that 22 years ago, the mitzvat kibud avayim did protect him. So which means, I'm a tzaddik. That's when he got calmed down. 22 years, he thinks about himself, oy va'avoy, I'm a bed, ani lo tov. 22 years, abotai. When I read such a pesukim, it just takes me who is our avot? Eze tzaddikim, eze kedoshim. Matai yagi'u ma'asai le'ma'asei avotai. We have to think big. We have to dream something huge. We have to know that how a person in Olam Hazeh nowadays, you can become so great, but you got to dream big. Look at Yaakov Avinu. Look at him. Look at the Shevatim. Look at Yosef HaTzadik. And we just tap. Matai yagi'u. Matai yagi'u. Matai nuchal laga'at. Just tap their little fingers. You see, Mr. Yaakov HaKadosh, who is Yaakov Avinu? Why was he crying for 22 years? Because if my son did not come home, meaning he doesn't have mitzvah kibud avayim, which makes me a barasha, which makes me oy va'avoy, maybe I have a sin that I don't know even about it. And so let's continue. Let's continue weiter. The Torah says in Pasuk Chafeh, Vayeshevu le'echol lechem, and the brothers sat down to eat bread. Vayis'u einehem vay'u v'nei orachat Ishmaelim ba migil'ad, and they see Ishmaelim, Arabs, coming from Gil'ad. Ugmalehem nos'im, and their camels are carrying nochot, utzri valot, olchim lo'orid mitzrayma. Meaning, Hazal tell us that when it says in the pasuk, camels were going down to Egypt, it was Arabs, Ishmaelim, carrying nachot, tzori, velot. What is this? So Rashi explains, this is all kinds of flowers, spices, all kinds of spices. What's the Hiddush? Why do we have to know that they had some spices? Who cares? So the simple pshat, because usually Arabs, Ishmaelim, they carry neft ve'iteran. They carry gasoline. They carry things it's very smelly. But Hashem made for Yosef miracle. He's not going to smell something bad. He's going to smell something that smells good. And I want to pause here for 1 second. A cup comes to your house in the middle of the night. He rings the bell. It tells you, listen, you're under arrest. Why? No questions. Here's an order, you have to come. What are you talking about? No questions. They take him, they put him handcuffs, and they take him to the jail. You know, people who end up in jail, even for one night, 2 nights, it's a trauma that doesn't go away forever. It's something that, you know, they take you out from your bed and you end up in a jail. It's something. It's a scar for life. It's a scar for life. Now let me ask you a question. You're in the police car, and in the in the car, it hangs. How does it called? The one that makes air freshener? Air freshener. Oh, it smells good. I'm asking you a question. You take a guy out from his bed to the police car. You're gonna dump him. You know where? In a prison. But don't worry. In the police car, it's gonna smell. Something good is gonna smell. I don't understand. Who cares if you have in the car, air freshener? Who cares? You're taking a guy from his bed to the prison. It's a scar for life. What's going on over here? No, I want to tell you Hiddush. What's the Hiddush? That Yosef did not smell bad stuff. No gasoline. Rather was something yummy. Yeah, something very yummy. At the end of the day, 22 years, he was out of his father. No brothers, no mother. He was in jail for 12 years. He was a slave by Mr. Potiphar for a long time. What is that couple days that he walks with the camels, on the camels, that they sell that they were carrying spices? It doesn't do anything. I saw a couple perushim, a couple explanations, but I want to take something that we can learn so much from this pasuk. So the simple pshat is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whatever you deserve, that's what you're going to get. And each that you don't deserve more, you're not going to get. So since Yosef was supposed to end up in Mitzrayim, so he's going to get sold to the Ishmaelim. That's it. If you not deserve another extra half a pound of pain, you're not going to get. Which that includes not to smell something bad. Meaning when Hashem gives a person a punishment, Hashem takes in account everything, the whole package. And if you not deserve to smell something bad, you're not going to get this punishment. It's out. That doesn't come. That's not the package deal. That's not the deal. You're not getting. That's one pshat. But I saw a pshat that it fits to Yosef, because we see it in a couple places, and I think we can take it for our life. Yosef HaTzadik, one of the greatest midot of Yosef, whatever you're going to put him, he always saw the good nekudah, something good in everything you're going to put him. You ask yourself, how in the world Yosef in jail for 12 years and he's still normal? How a person from jail, 12 years, within 24 hours he becomes second to the king, he could run a whole country for 80 years. It does make no sense. How come? Do you know what's the answer? Let's go for 1 second to the end of our parasha. 1 second. Are we going to the end of the parasha? Perek Lametet. Perek Lametet, pasuk Chaf. Pasuk Chaf. So Yosef was accused that he raped Mrs. Potiphar, okay? The Torah says, ויקח אדוני יוסף אותו, ויתנהו אל בית הסוהר. He put Yosef in jail. מקום אשר אסירי המלך אסורים. A jail that it was a hashuvi. White collar. Yeah. מקום אשר אסירי המלך אסורים. צווארון הלבן, it's called in Hebrew. The white collar. Yeah. It's not a low life. It's a little more respect. It says, Vayisham bevet hasohar. So I saw a question in the Farshim, why it says Vayisham bevet hasohar. It says already Vayitenehu el bet hasohar. It says he already put him in jail. Then where is he now? Where is he now? In jail. Then why it says Vayisham bevet hasohar again? And the beautiful, beautiful answer that I saw. Vayisham, it doesn't go, Sham, it doesn't go on the jail. Sham, you know where is Sham? In Eshet Potiphar's house. Vayisham bebet hasohar. You know where was my jail? When I was with the lady. Over there was the jail. Now I'm free. You see, again. תראו מה כתוב פה. It says, ויתנהו אל בית הסוהר, he brought him to jail. וישם בבית הסוהר. The way we read it, sham means, and he was there in jail. So no, that's not the pshat. Vayisham, you know where is Sham? Sham goes to Eshet Potiphar in that house, there, where he was a slave, over there he was in jail. Now, I'm free. Whoa. Do you know what does it mean? Yosef Atzadik was able, you know, whatever you could put him, he would always see the positive in everything in life. Everything is good. Everything is beautiful. They sold him. It's okay. You know, you're in jail. Nah, you know where's jail? Over there. When I was 1 year, but in that house, over there was a jail. Now, Baruch Hashem, I'm free. He's in jail and he says, no, I'm free. Jail was over there by Eshet Potiphar. Do you know who is Yosef? Yosef, his brothers sold him. He's an orphan. He doesn't have a mother. He knows how much his father loved him. Going down to Mitzrayim. He was sold 4 times. You should be so depressed. Do you know what Yosef is saying? Whoa, I smell besamim over here. Wow, give me the besamim. Baruch atah Hashem, borem minei besamim. That was Yosef. The Torah is telling us that on the camels it was spices. What's a hidush? The Torah is telling us that Yosef emphasized the spices, not the journey going down to Mitzrayim. To see in life all the good, beautiful things. I read a beautiful story about one of the greatest tzaddikim. Mizaya, I think it was Rabbi Zusha, one of those great tzaddikim. Hazit, he had no money. And he was starving. So, a regular person, you starve. Come on, I'm starving. I want food. I want to eat. I want food. It's not fair. How come I don't have parasha? My parasha is bad. I don't have money. I don't have food to eat. I go crazy. Rabbi Zusha said, "Oh, Ribono shel Olam, thank you for the fact that I can taste food. There is people that they don't even taste. Baruch Hashem, I have a taste, and that's why I could feel that I'm starving. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity that I could feel what is a taste." Meaning, instead of crying why I'm starving, instead, wow, look what happened to me. Baruch Hashem, יש לי טעם, יש לי חוש הטעם, I can still taste food. Thank you, Hashem. That was Yosef. That was Yosef. Even going down to Mitzrayim, do you know what he was focusing? I smell something special. ועל זה, Yosef זכה. All his life. He always was a very positive person. And now you know what happened in the jail. One day he wakes up, he looks at the butler, and he looks at the baker. Listen to his question. It says, "Vayarotam v'inam zo'afim." Yosef looked at the butler and the baker, and he sees that they're very, they depressed. Vayavo alehem, vayishal, madua penechem ra'im hayom. Why are you guys so sad? Why are you guys so depressed? And I'm asking Yosef, why in the world that shouldn't be upset? I'm in jail for 12 months. What kind of a question is it? You see a guy that by mistake, a fly went in the cup of Pharaoh and gave it to him. Now, 12 months in jail. So after 12 months, you see, Yosef, he sees the guy and he asks him, why are you so depressed? What do you mean why? Because I've been here for 12 months for doing nothing. What kind of a question is it? Who can ask such a question? Only Yosef. And watch this. So Sarah Mashkim, the butler, tells him, I had a dream. He tells him the dream, and Yosef tells him, in 3 days, Paro's birthday, and you're going to go back to your position. Very nice. The baker hears the story, he tells Yosef the story, and he tells him, Rahat Alek, he's going to hang you. Which he was right. Yosef was right 100%. Boy, my friends, Haverim Ekarim, I want to ask you a very simple question. Me'efo Yosef eda? From where Yosef knew that the butler, he's going to end up going back to his position, and the baker, he's going to get killed. Me'efo yeda et ze? Huh? Nevuah? Okay, maybe. But where the psukim, it says Nevuah. In the psukim, it doesn't match Mashayaf Rapo Nevuah. Poter Halom is not Nevuah. Poter Halom means he hears the dream and he can tell you what happened there. A boy side, there is many perushim, many explanations, but I want to take it the way we just learned, and with this we're going to finish for tonight. You have a guy in jail for 12 months. It means you have 12 months to think, what was your mistake? What was your mistake? And once you know what's your mistake, you could learn from your mistake, and you could tell yourself, you know what? I'll change. I'll become a better person. I want to do better. I want to get out of here because I want to become a better person. And watch this. The butler, Sarah Mashkim, he thinks and he realizes, you know what? It was my mistake. It was my mistake. And he says to himself, you know what? I learned my mistake. And I really truly believe if I'm getting out of here, I'll be the one who's going to squeeze the grapes for the king. I will serve him the other cup. I'm not going to give it to any waiters. Nothing. It'll be me. I'll be the one who's going to do everything for the king. And guess what? Guess what? That's what he thought the whole time. Omeret Hatorah, Haverim, let's look inside, and with this we're going to finish. He tells Yosef in Perek Mem, Pasuk Tet, Yud Aleph, ויספר שרה משקים את חלומו ליוסף, ויאמר לו בחלומי והנה גפן לפניי. I see my dream, grapes, ובגפן 13 ריגים. וחורס פרעה בידי. He says, and I'm holding Paro's cup. ואקח את הענבים ואסחוט אותם. Look what he's saying. He's saying, I see my dream, I'm holding grapes, I'm holding the cup, I'm squeezing, and I'm giving it to Paro. Omer Yosef, you gonna win. You're gonna become back, you get back to your position. If you have a dream that you're gonna squeeze and you're gonna serve Paro, meaning for 12 months, you're a positive person. You think to yourself, I want to become a better person. You're going to become a better person. You're going to win. You're a winner. But look the attitude of Sarah Ofim. Look his attitude, the baker. Number one, Hazal tell us, the baker had a dream, and he knew the solution of the butler. Meaning he knew in his dream, he saw his dream, and he also knew the solution of the butler. Meaning he knew that his friend is going to come out. He knew that. So you have 50% chance already to win. If your friend is out, most likely you're also going to get out. Instead, he has an attitude. You know the people, they're always angry, they're never happy, everything is bad, work is not good, and the customers, they're just nuts, they're all thieves, and America, and the taxes, and the elections, and the president, and the mayor, and everything is horrible, and the doctors don't know anything what they're doing, and schools with tuition, and the rabbis, and the world is disaster. You know this type of people? That's the baker. Yosef tells him, you're gonna die. You know why? Look his dream. Okay, let's look inside. Pasuk Yud Zayin. He tells him, I see on my head 3 baskets of food, of bread. Ubasara elyon, in the top basket, Pasuk Yud Zayin, Mikol ma'achal par'o ma'aseh ofeh. I have a lot of, pastry over there, bread and all the good stuff. V'ha'of ochel otam. And I see a bird is eating. Now let me ask you, how in the world you see in your dream, bird is eating from food that you're carrying? Do you know what does it mean? It means you're dead. Because if you're alive, no bird will come and eat from your basket on top of your head. If a bird comes to eat, it means that you're dead. And you know why you see that? Because your attitude is, all right, I did a mistake, but what's a big deal? Why you picked on me now? You had 12 months to think, to change, and you didn't change. You had an attitude, that's why your dream is bad, and that's why he got hung. The beginning of the parasha is Yosef's dreams, and then the end of the parasha is Sarah Mashkim's and Sarah Ophim's dreams. We all dream. You pick the dream, good or bad. Let's all dream good and positive. Thank you, Shabbat Shalom.